Welcome to the Temia
and Tomeka show.
So today we're going to get right into the gun law bill that Governor Ron DeSantis signed. And I'm going to read this from the Tampa Bay Times. It says that Ron DeSantis signed a bill last Wednesday, May the 8th, that allows teachers to be armed in the classrooms of public schools. Now, it's not in effect. The law doesn't go into effect until October the 1st. But for teachers and other staff, it allows them to be armed. School districts must opt in to the so-called Guardian program, which allows teachers and other staff, again, to volunteer to carry a gun on campus after getting screened and trained by the sheriff's office. So what are your thoughts on that, Tomka?
Well, my thoughts are I don't think that they should allow this to happen. Because first of all, granted the teachers do have to pass a background check and they do have to have a psychiatric evaluation. However, you can fool a psychiatric evaluation. So when's the last time you bust a window out somebody's car? Just because you can get caught doesn't mean you're crazy. You're not crazy. So I'm just like, I don't think this is a good idea because you never know how somebody acts outside of the school. I mean, they try to put on this whole professional act when they're at work, but they might be real ratchet, and so by allowing them to have guns and stuff, I don't think that's a good feeling. You don't want the kids to be scared going to school. They're already scared enough being out here in this world, and then I gotta go to school where they're supposed to feel protected. Now you're putting more fear into them. I don't think this is a good law.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm a little, well, first of all, I was for it when it originally, the movement originally started, after the Parkland shooting. So they started putting together their minds and trying to come up with a solution. And Governor Scott, he kind of pushed it that the teachers, like full-time teachers, that have constant contact with the children, they won't be allowed to volunteer. But what happened is that Pinellas County Sheriff, he was in charge of a committee to come up with a solution. And so the Florida legislature, they undid their exception. In other words, they had an exception before in the bill that, you can have volunteers to carry guns on campus.
Right.
But teachers, full-time teachers, again, the ones who have constant contact with the kids, they won't be allowed to volunteer in the program. But again, Pinellas County Sheriff, he coerced his way into the committee and he kind of, made it.
Had them change their mind.
Yeah, had them change their mind. Florida legislature, they went back and they undid that. And Governor DeSantis, he signed that into law. So that's the only problem that I have with it, because I'm not against having guns on campus. I think it's needed because these are soft targets.
Right.
And everybody know that I don't care what, people say about not having guns. If you don't have any guns in the vicinity in a particular facility and everybody knows there's no guns, the person who want to do harm is going to go with a gun and know that he's going to shoot up as many people as he can because there's nobody else to counter him.
Right.
So I'm all for, heartening a soft target, but I was with them until they changed that exception.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like that they can have 4 armed security guards, if they budget their money correctly and stop using it on a whole bunch of foolishness. Then you can have 2 armed security guards at the front and 2 at the back. There's absolutely no reason that the teacher themselves need to have guns. I don't want my child, say my child's acting up that particular day, and the teacher feel like, well, I got a gun, I'm just going to pull that on you and shoot your kid. I'm not going to have no understanding. No, period. You can't tell me nothing.
Things get emotional, they get hot, they have too much interaction with the students. So, if it's an officer there, a resource officer that's assigned to that particular school, or even, I'll even take the what do you call it, the football coach, if he's not a teacher, a full-time teacher.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he has some interaction with them, but he's not with them all of the time.
But who's
You know
to
what I'm
say?
saying? And if they get in an altercation in the classroom or whatever, they can just go back and get their gun. And not saying that, you know, it will happen often, but just one time is too many times.
Right. But who's to say that the teacher decides that I don't like this particular child, and just like, I'm just gonna shoot you, because they're given, now it's like, you know, granted they're given the guns or whatever for our children's safety, but they can also use it for their own advantage. You know, you never know how somebody really feels. You know, there's a lot of racism going on. There's a lot of cultural differences going on. So, you know, and then you got people that are allowing the foolishness within the United States. So therefore, you never know how somebody is thinking. So here's a gun, I need you to protect my child. And who's to say they will actually use it to protect your child? Who's to say that they won't like be intimidated to shoot? You know, and then are they allowed to shoot to kill, or are they allowed to just shoot to injure? So, you know, there's kind of, I think this law needs to be thought out more before they say, oh, let's just throw it out there and here's a gun so you can protect my kid. No, absolutely not.
Well, it's law now, so we have to deal with it. I mean, and it once again, it has where school districts, they can opt in. And the article reads, again, this is in the Tampa Bay Times, is where I'm getting my information from, is that many of the districts are choosing not to participate. And in fact, they tried, some activists tried to get Governor DeSantis to not sign it. I wouldn't say don't sign it, because again, I'm for having guns on campus. It's just that how you regulate it and how, you know, the restrictions you place on it. But they failed to stop him from signing the law. And this is my advice to you, because I had, you know, I know a friend who has a special needs child. So let me give you this one tip, because money affect corporations, government, any kind of, you know, conflict you have with these corporations or a government entity or what have you. You know what? Money will move them. I know you want to do the activist thing, get like 13 or 15
signatures,
20,000 signatures. Child, boo. That's not gonna work. As you can see, it didn't work.
Right.
So what works is money. That's why people sue people and take them to court and sue them for every penny they got.
If you want to hurt somebody, hurt them pockets.
Exactly. And what changes corporations, they, as soon as they get out their lawsuit, they get in the meeting and say, hey, what can we do to make this better, to avoid being sued?
Right.
So this is my advice to the activists out there. If you are in a district that, you know, you think is leaning towards opting in this guardian program, I mean, go and try to find, I mean, you're gonna have to do some research now, but find the special needs kids and appeal to their parents. You know why? They get federal funding. Every special need child gets so much money for that particular district to that school. So, and not only that, it's based on how many kids need the assistance.
Right. Okay.
So if you get a group of them together and they, you know, threaten to pull their child out of a particular district, you got a little power. You got a little say. So activists, hello.
Right.
Go and work it. Do your research. You need to find out who these people are and convince them. And you probably won't have to do that much convincing if you just give them the facts. You know, and let them know what's going on in their school district, and say, hey, not only sign this, show up to the school board meeting.
Right.
You know, so that's what I recommend. And look, money is power. Okay.
It really is.
So let me direct you to a website. It's in Texas now, but it's just a little background because it's the same thing in Florida. But it's just to give you an idea. It's called thsc.org. Again, that's thsc.org, and it's entitled, the article is entitled, Why Public Schools Want Your Special Needs Child. money. Okay?
Money, power, respect.
Mm-hmm.
In that order.
Yes. Let me just read a little bit from it. It says, in general, public schools are given special needs funds from their district at a rate double of what they are given for a regularly enrolled student. On top of that, they are dedicated federal monies and grants available to special needs departments. Some of those funds are given per enrolled special needs student. So they're getting double, this is on the local level, and they're getting federal money. And they also are available, grants available also for special needs education. So this is my thing. Again, get together, find out who these people are, and organize.
So here's the thing about that. So instead of, some people might think like, oh, well, only reason why they allow my child to go to school because so they can, they see him as a paycheck. So that might not always, I mean, I don't think people really know that. I think they should just have like a whole special needs, school. But I just kind of like, oh, I just want you to go here like you're a token. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not good.
I mean, it is kind of good because you have to have the same thing available in all areas. I understand what you're saying about putting them in one school. Mm-hmm. However, you got to think about location, and you have families that live all over, so you want to make education available everywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing, and another thing, if the schools are getting additional funds due to having special needs children in their school, why is the teachers raised? Why are they like lackluster on giving teachers raises? If you're getting all this money, why are teachers still not getting raises?
Well, I mean, I think as far as that, I think it's based on a good merit because they test them and it's based on the student performance. So if you're a pretty good teacher and you know how to take time with the kids and go ahead and make sure every kid gets it, you should be rewarded. And that's how the system pretty much is set up. And I understand the school board, the school teachers association, is against it because Florida is overcrowded. I know. And I know you're saying that it's not fair because you don't have the time to put into every kid. So, I mean, I still think, I consider that, but I still think because I still remember back in the day, it wasn't crowded as it is now, but I mean, it wasn't like 15 or 20 kids in there. It was a lot of kids in there. And then sometimes we combine classes. And guess what? We got our lesson, and the ones who didn't get it, they didn't get left behind. You know what my teachers did back in the day? I don't know if they do it now, but they would split them.
You said back in the day.
Back in the day.
Well, how far back?
I got some age on me, okay? Let's just leave it like that. You're pushing it. You're pushing it now. You're really pushing it. Anyway, back in the day, what they would do is separate you between first, second, or third level. And with the different levels, the teacher either had an assistant that would tutor that group, or they would go to the different groups and give that group an activity.
They do that now.
And then go to this one.
They do that now.
Okay, see?
Yeah.
My point exactly. So you have no excuse, teacher association.
But even if you're a good
teacher, do that now, and every kid is being taken care of, right? So you should have no complaint about it's unfair about how we get paid and our raises on merit, based on performance.
It's not even based on merit. I mean, it's supposed to be.
It is.
But here's the thing: if you're allowed, even if your student are the best, it's like, oh, we don't have enough money for teachers. That's why they shouldn't be giving you guns. Because first of all, you already not getting paid what you feel like you should be getting paid and what you should be getting paid, because without you, we would be absolutely nowhere. And then they put a gun in an already stressed situation. Like, are you serious? No, you don't need no gun. We already not doing right by y'all. And so now we give you another job?
I don't know if I need to take that seriously. I mean, that's got to be a whole lot of stress.
I'm like, we already giving you another job.
I can see the scenario on an extra stressed out teacher, but I don't think that would be a problem. I don't think that they're that stressed out with the school system. It's not that big of a deal to me. And again, I know I'm gonna get y'all emails, okay? Whatever.
Listen, so they already have it where it's gonna be into law October the 1st. So they only do things when stuff happens. That's the whole reason that this is even into law.
That's why.
So they're gonna wait until a few kids get shot up by some teachers in order to veto it. Is that what's gonna happen? You know, why do we have to pretty much use our children as guinea pigs in order for you guys to do what's right? Do not put a gun in a teacher's hand. You don't pay them well. The kids are disrespectful. They have well, Florida, we recognize corporal punishment, whatever, but they cannot they don't get paddled and none of that stuff. That's back in the day. They don't get paddled and stuff. And so I'm just kind of like, do not put a gun in a teacher's hand. Period.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not unless that they were veterans or they were used to being in certain situations, because you could have an ex-cop or what have you. They might have some backgrounds, what I'm saying.
I need a
Before
SEAL.
They were being a teacher.
You need to be a Navy SEAL in order to protect my child. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't need you to be bubblegum thug trying to protect my child. I need you to be a Navy. If you're not a Navy a mercenary, you tell us teacher that I need you to be a merc.
So what you're saying is that the background check and the mental screening is not good enough?
Nope.
Are you a merc? They do it for the cops. Oh, did I start something? I'm just saying that they do the same. Well, I wouldn't say the same thing.
And not all cops are bad.
They do background checks and they do mental screening.
Not all cops are bad.
So if they again, I'm against for the teachers because they have constant contact with the kids. It's just too much emotional.
She said.
But what I'm saying is that as far as anybody outside of that realm, the resource officer, what have you, even administrators.
Resources. Call a real cop. That's what that means.
Even
I'm security guard.
You don't think that the mental screening is good enough?
No, it's not. Obviously, as you can tell, as your comment.
Well, nothing has happened yet.
What? Nothing happened with this. But there's a lot of things that happen all over the world. No. We're going to just give another psychotic person a gun? Absolutely not. My child is not going to go to the war zone.
Psychotic. See, that comes from fear. You have to think it through, because you can't base it off emotionalism and fear when you have tools in place. If you have the mental screening and they pass with flying colors, I don't understand what's the problem.
Absolutely not. But just because you don't get caught doing something does not mean you're not crazy.
Okay, well, you guys let us know. Let us know what you think. You have the comment section down there, so just let us know. I would love to know your thoughts.
Yes,
okay?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's just end this segment because we're not going to agree.
Right.
And we got something else coming your way.
Welcome back. We're talking about difficulties in blended families. I got this article from goodtherapy.org. There are a lot of difficulties with blended families, and there are some good things. The first difficulty is when you're previously married and say you already have a child that you bring into the relationship, and that child knows your husband as father, and then you guys split up. And so your husband, your ex-husband says that, oh, I'm going to be there for your child. But then, that doesn't happen. So, this child's left with all types of like animosity and grief and stuff like that, you divorce the mom. You didn't divorce the child. However, I guess the lack of blood, lack of responsibility. So, what do you think about that? Do you think that's right that they should divorce the child when they divorce the mom?
Well, I think they should have an agreement. I think one of the big failures in divorce or when you have a breakup or what have you is that you fail to plan, basically. I mean, they worry all the time about money with, child support and who's going to get the alimony and all that, but they fail to have an agreement about the kids. So I think that the new parent, well, first of all, let's backtrack. The divorcees, they should, before you even get out of divorce court, you should have an agreement. This is how we're going to do. This is going to be joint custody, and I'm going to have them on the weekends, and you're going to have them during the week, and this is our schedule, and this is how we're going to handle certain situations. Judy Boy got to go to basketball practice, and Sally Sue got to go over here to volleyball or tennis or what have you, and you need to work it out really before you even go into your after marriage life or after relationship life, because you're going to run into those problems, and then the problem is that you just let it go by, and either one parent handle it and the other parent don't like how they handled it, you know what I mean? Or they neglect the whole situation and nothing's being handled. So I say, just like you agree or make an agreement on everything else when you divorce, agree on how to handle the kids.
Right. And that goes for both when you have children that come into a relationship, and when you start having children with your significant other. So there's also scenarios where you get remarried and they have children. And so granted, your teaching styles are different, and so sometimes that causes problems when the mother of your new spouse
interject just a little bit.
Yeah.
Too much mouth, too much input.
Absolutely. Okay. And so that's when it becomes an issue. So I'm just like, so you kind of feel like, okay, you want to build this bond, but for whatever reason you can't. And it has something to do with their parents, say, oh, well, I don't like her, or they're getting more than you're getting. And so it's just kind of like, how do you get away from that? How do you get away from that, that stigma? Like, I want to be a good parent to your children too, but I can't deal with your baby mama. She's doing too much.
Just like what we had a personal incident with that. We know a friend.
Right.
That was dealing with that. And what did I say? Get everybody together.
Right.
Have a family meeting, not just your family, but the whole blended family. You, the kids, your new wife, and the ex. All of y'all sit down and come to an agreement. This is how we're going to deal with the kids. You have respect. This is my new wife. This is my new husband. He is the man of this house. You respect him. And not only that, this is understanding, and the kids need to hear from the new husband mouth that I'm your dad. I can't replace your biological dad, but I'm gonna step in and be the man that I should be, and I'm gonna treat you the same as if you were my own. So they need to hear that, because it will be much smoother if they feel loved and welcome. So you just need to have, again, an agreement. This time though, first of all, do it between the parents. With the adults, supposedly adults. Okay, so once you guys get your stuff together in agreement, have a family meeting with the kids and have a verbal understanding.
Now, here's the thing. So, what if you have a meeting? You have this meeting and you think everything's gonna go, okay, and then come to find out that the baby's mom decided that, oh, I don't want to invite my significant other due to the fact he has nothing to do with this, and pretty much you have nothing to do with this, but you're the wife. How does that work?
You mean to the meeting?
Right. I have nothing to do. The children is between your husband and her. She don't want you involved because
No, baby.
Right.
No. Are they coming over?
the ring
Yes.
says I will be
Are they
involved for the rest
coming
of your
over?
life.
Exactly. Are they gonna eat from my table food out of my fridge?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, boo. we are a package deal, okay?
Exactly. You don't want me involved? Oh well, you know what I'm saying? Because I have the same last name as your kids and not you. Okay.
And not only that, you need to seek help, boo. You need to go to seek counseling, because that issue with the new wife or the new husband has nothing to do with you. You should be just concerned about the welfare of your child,
Absolutely.
your children. So you know the children being around so and so, that should have any, unless you got some concern, you get a background check. I know that happens, okay? I'm not talking about those instances. Those instances you have a right to be concerned, but
Right.
you still have a meeting and you air those out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You come to some kind of agreement, consensus, what have you, but you deal with it. You can't just be trifling, because again, like I said on our last show, on the other show, you're gonna reap
What you sow.
So you put those seeds down. Be mindful. I'm telling you, it's gonna come back on you. And those kids watch every move. They watch everything you say, and you expect them to have a nasty attitude because you know you have a nasty attitude. They're learning from you. You know what I'm saying?
You're the poisonous parent.
And then you're not only that, you're gonna see that it's gonna put so much. It's gonna, well, not destroy, but the opportunities that they would
Stop
have
being
had,
jealous of the person that can help you out.
the
Okay?
opportunities they would have had with the new spouse would be diminished.
Exactly. Stop being jealous. I say this to everyone, the men, the women. Stop being jealous of the person that can help you out, okay? You know, learn from that person. Especially when you have no reason to having type of feelings towards that person. You're just mad because he doesn't want to be with you and he's married. You know what I'm saying? That's a legal thing. You know, whatever situation that you have on, if you don't want your, significant other in the picture dealing with your children, that's your business. But when he put a ring on her finger, that's her stepkid. Matter of fact, I don't want you talking to my stepkids. Your children are my children too. You can't talk to my kids. Like we can really get petty. And so, but I'm just kind of like this. Ultimately, stop being jealous of the person that can help you out. Come together, blend together. It's a blended family. Say, stop trying to have the kids go against one another. Oh, he's doing more for these kids over here, and then he's doing for you. Oh, he didn't get you this, but I bet those kids got that.
If you was at the meeting, boo, if you had an agreement, he wouldn't be doing more for the other kids because you already had your say. You spoke up, and you would say, hey, if Sally Sue getting this, my boy need to get this too.
But that's an assumption. That's not even a fact.
Again, I mean, it'll happen because you're not involved. You have an attitude. But if you get involved, you got more control. Hello? You have more influence. And not only that, get along with the new spouse, boo. I mean, the new spouse got an ear.
Hello, everybody knows. Got
an ear.
Hello, nothing happens without the wife.
And the ear leads to the bank account, boo.
Thank you.
So, just to make things go easier and smoother, and you can get much more with honey.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and don't try to fake a phony thing, okay? Because we can see right through all that, okay? We see through. Let me tell you something. Some women that have children by our husbands, they feel like, oh, let me just try to get cool with the wife or whatever, but she really wants your husband. Listen, we see through all that, okay? So don't try to play games.
Oh, you mean want the husband back?
Yes, want the husband back. The thought behavior. Listen, he is a married man. Stop your thought behavior. It's not cute, because you will with yourself. You're gonna get married one day. Somebody's gonna do that to you, and you're gonna be doing the same thing. So we're gonna protect our kingdoms, okay? When we marry, that now becomes our baby. That's our baby. Babe, you can't do nothing without me having to say so in it. You can't sign, nothing gets signed, nothing, no cash gets deposited. withdrawn, none of that without the wife say so. Do you hear me?
Now, what about the kids? What if how you get the kids to blend and to get along?
Well, you know, they're all, if they're around the same ages, they're quite natural because kids don't play with other children. You know, granted, it just when it comes to disciplinary. You know, when you're raised differently or whatever, you're not used to certain things, or you know, saying or you're in different environments, so you're not used to certain things. But kids normally get along with each other. You know, I mean, you might have like sometimes where it might be like territorial going on, but that's not
That would
something.
be me.
But that's not something that can't be conquered. You know, hey, this is your brother. You guys are going to get along. If you can't get along, you're going to have a problem. It's simple. You know, but only time I really saw it where like children not getting along when it's a blended family is when you have a poisonous parent in that child's ear trying to make that child jealous of the new family. So that's where the issue is. It's not the children. It's the people that became adults because the state that they lived in made them adult at 18 years of age, but they never matured. You're only grown because you turned 18 years of age, but you are not a grown woman. You are not a grown man. Stop trying to ruin that relationship and stop wishing bad on that marriage because you couldn't get a ring. Period.
Now, what about the
or a relationship? You couldn't get a ring or a relationship. Sorry.
Oh,
you know,
Lord.
just because you had children by somebody, that don't make that they was with you. You were just, you know, jumping off.
incubator? Okay. All right. So, what about when the kids have like different schedule and one get a little envious of the other, or one has special needs, like let's say you know they need homework, you know, help with math, but the other one, you know, no, I want it because the guy, the new husband, is so into the sons or whoever basketball game, and they don't want to take time with the one that need to help with math.
Well, you know, that's when you have an adult conversation like, hey, you know, I feel some type of way. Can you spend more time with this person? Or that's when the wife comes in like, hey, while he's doing that, let me help you with this. And so, because we already know.
But what if it's a boy and needs or wants attention from the male? You just have a conversation.
Well, you know, we all can do. We all can do like a family thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're never gonna leave. Never leave the children out. Period. We like, hey, you want to do the basketball? He's at the basketball game. We can all go to the basketball game, so you can have time with your father. You know, because the man needs their father. Period. Point blank. You know, we women, we can do it all, but why should we have to? So a man needs his father. A girl needs a father. Daddy's girl.
Me too.
Girl.
Oh goodness.
Hey.
Anyways, you guys drop us a line and let us know what you think, because I'm curious. Do you all have blended families, and what kind of, you know, situations you run across? How have you dealt with them? So, you know, just share, because we want to help each other, and we all have knowledge that we need.
Thank you for watching the Temia and Tomeka show, and be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel, and continue to watch us every Sunday at 4 p.m.